What's going on, guys? This video, I'm here to talk to you about something I haven't talked about in a long time on this channel. That's because I got busy with opening a record store. But now that I have a little more time in my hands, I was able to revisit something that I was very excited about back in the day and share with you guys some of the updates. I'm talking about nasdisk, the online vinyl marketplace that I said once upon a time was going to be the future of buying and selling records online. And I don't disagree with that statement, especially with all of the changes that they have made as an entity, as well as on a very specific level. And I've had a chance to sit down with those guys and talk to them about what they've been up to. So I'm going to share with you some of the exciting things that they're working on. I don't want to turn this channel into a discogs bashing channel. I use discogs every day. I did a video recently where I shared a lot of things that discogs needs to work on, and I was pretty harsh about some of them, but as someone who uses it so frequently, it was worthy of me sharing these things to hopefully get changes enacted. And since that video, there have been some changes. There also have been some unfortunate things, like them increasing their seller fee to 9% plus the PayPal fee, which makes them arguably the highest marketplace, even above eBay by just a hair, while they're in the midst of a massive scammer issue where there's tons of scammers flooding the platform with fake accounts and fake items. It's just a mess. But monopolies are not good. Discogs has had the monopoly on the vinyl buying and selling scene for a very long time. I mean, eBay obviously had people buying and selling records, but most vinyl collectors went directly to Discogs for good reason. That doesn't mean they're the best, and it doesn't mean that there aren't better options. I think that what nasdisk has to offer as a platform is going to be better than anything else out there. The issue is, as it was before, getting the user base there. They've been growing steadily since I first started talking about them in a video a long time ago, but they still aren't anywhere near the behemoth that is Discogs. Hopefully with this video, it'll encourage you guys to check it out, and maybe you'll sign up and maybe you'll help grow that marketplace, because as a buyer and a seller, I think all the features they offer are amazing. If you didn't see my last video about nasdisk, definitely check them out. That's kind of giving you a basis of what they are. But long story short, if you don't want to watch that video, it is an order book. So buyers can say, I want to get this record in this condition and put up a price. Sellers can then either put up something for their price or directly connect with the buyer and immediately make a sale based on the buyer being like, this is what I'm willing to pay. It connects buyers and sellers in such an intuitive way. It's amazing that no other site does this. And I think if there were enough users, buyers and sellers would find so much joy in how simple this system is. You can place alerts in a much better way than Discogs lets you, because you can actually ask for them to send you a message or an email or a text or whatever as soon as the record comes up in your price range at the condition you're looking for, which is something Discogs is missing. Their alert system is very bad, to be completely honest. But let's shift gears into some of the stuff that they have been working on since my last video. So they do something now called flash drops, which is basically they take a seller on the site. Sometimes they work with stores or influencers in the space to kind of do a special theme drop that they want to put up. And the way it works is that that person puts up a bunch of their records for sale, and at one specific time, all of the records go live. Normally they're at a good price, below market value ideally, and sometimes you can see what the records are ahead of time, but the prices aren't available until they go live, and obviously one copy of most things, so if you want something, you grab it. Sometimes they're a mystery though, and you don't know anything until the time. So if you follow a specific store or a creator and you like to see what they have in their collection they're trying to sell, this is a cool way to kind of have a little featured segment on their site as a flash drop. And I think it's a cool idea. I'm gonna actually be doing my first one with them next Thursday. It's gonna go live at 6 p.m. PST. So if you sign up for the site, you'll be able to go and see what I have to offer. I've been putting a lot of really good stuff aside, especially if you're into pop and emo. Lots of cool stuff to list, so if you're into that and more, make sure you check that out. The second thing that appealed to me as a huge music fan and a record label is the idea of their perpetual returns, which is an amazing idea that no one else has thought of, or at least implemented, and I think this is an extremely important thing in the industry. So let's take an artist, for example. Let's take Kendrick Lamar, all right? Kendrick Lamar puts out a limited variant of one of his records. He puts it out for $40. It sells out. 6 months later, that record is out of print, and people are selling it online for $150, and they're just selling like crazy. Boom, boom, boom. Everybody who missed it is trying to get in on it before it gets way too out of control, and everyone's buying, everyone's selling. It's kind of this ecosystem that feeds itself, right? Well, Perpetual Returns is looking to challenge that in the way of saying, hey, the artist deserves some of that money. It's still their record, and they're making less than the person who bought it is making. So why don't we try to bridge that gap a little bit and do something called Perpetual Returns? So the artists that decide to work with nasdisk on this will get Perpetual Returns on their records. So anytime their record is sold, whether it's a month after it sells out, 6 years after it sells out, however long it is, they're going to get a cut of the sale, which I think is truly revolutionary and a really great way to give back to the artists to make sure that they are still compensated for their art even after the fact. And that's also at no cost to the artist. Nasdisk is doing this out of their own pockets, which I think is an extremely good show of goodwill towards the musician community. I know their first record that they did this with is a Conway the Machine record, which is amazing. He's a fantastic rapper from the Griselda gang, and this record is available right now with a nasdisk variant. I think you can buy it. I think it's still in stock. I think it's close to selling out. If you like Conway, check it out. And this is the first kind of model of what the Perpetual returns could be. I think it's awesome. It's just great as a collector to be able to pay an inflated price for a record you want and know that the artist is getting taken care of as well. There's also a nasdisk iOS app, which is great because the discogs app for me is, I hate using it. I use the website on my phone because their app is just a nightmare for me. There's a bunch of cool features like a Shazam integration where if you Shazam a song, it'll pull up the exact vinyl for you to buy on the app if it's available, which is cool. Of course, there's collection sharing, but the most important thing is the push notifications. You can get notifications directly about records when they go up for sale that you're looking for. That is probably the fastest way to receive an alert about something if you're on your phone, and I think that's an amazing feature. The app is kind of basic right now, but it's easy to navigate, it looks good, and I'm sure they're going to keep innovating it as time goes on. They also have been working on a Spotify integration, which I think is super cool. By logging in with your Spotify account, you can go to Nasdisk, and they can actually recommend you records to buy based on your listening habits. If you're looking to explore for new artists to add to your collection, not just digitally, but in tangible format, this is a really cool way to do it. They've also upgraded their variant browsing, which is a big pet peeve of mine when it comes to other marketplaces. It's really difficult to kind of sort through all the variants and know what you're clicking on. It feels very cumbersome. They have a disc toggle, which lets you see the actual disc image from the master release on nasdisk, which makes it so easy to find exactly what you're looking for and see the different variants of a record. I think this is just so obvious that this should have been done on other sites. Also, they have a recommended purchase option where if you don't really care about what variant you want, you just want the best deal for that record, they'll recommend you one that is just, here's the one to go for the best price, best condition. And for some people who just don't care about collecting variants, this is such an easy way to get records you want without going through so many different levels of data. And you know, as a seller, Nasdisk is becoming more and more appealing because eBay and discogs are creeping up to close to 13% after all fees when it comes to PayPal fees or whatever other fees are built into the platform. Nasdisk all-in fees are looking at 10%. I think it's a 7% seller fee and then a 3% partner fee. And that fee is actually used for something good. Nasdisk will just refund you if something goes wrong. If your record gets damaged in the mail, Nasdisk will personally refund you, no questions asked. It is a really great policy that I've had a lot of people I know use the site and have a very positive experience with. So that fee is not just greedy, money. It's actually going towards protecting you as a buyer, which is great. And a seller too, because then you're not gonna be out money if something goes wrong. So Nasdisk is really kind of pushing their way into the marketplace in a big way with all these changes. And I think that if we give them a chance, this could either provide healthy competition within the space or give us the next site that's going to be the main way that we should buy and sell records because of just the ease of use and the innovation and the good heart behind it with the things like the Perpetual Returns program. Moving forward, they gave me a little list of some of the things they're going to be working on, which I'll tease, and maybe in a future video I can talk about them. They're working on very powerful tools for sellers to be able to just scan the image of a record to be able to pull up the exact pressing using all kinds of AI and machine learning, which is crazy. An enhanced seller flow for sellers to be able to put inventory in a very easy way in bulk. Continuing improvements on the collections and the smart recommendation systems, and improved international shipping to and from the US. I don't know exactly how this is going to work, and I'm excited to hear more about it, but it sounds like this might be a way to reduce the cost on both ends for shipping internationally, which is a huge problem across the entire hobby, trying to get records to and from the USA. As well as more AI-based tools. As we know, AI has taken over our world. AI-based tools to help make record collecting easier and more fun. So yeah, make sure you guys check out my flash drop next week, Thursday, 6 p.m. PST. It's going to be live. Lots of great stuff, and I'm super excited for what these guys have to offer. I was so busy not focusing on online sales when I opened my record store. I haven't had time to really spend time with Nasdisk except for in the past few weeks, and what I have seen is awesome. It is such a huge improvement from what was already pretty cool, and I really think that if the word catches on and people start using this site, it is going to be an invaluable tool for buyers and sellers within this hobby. If you've used NasDisk, leave a comment below with your thoughts. If you're curious, leave a comment. I'll try to answer. I'm sure the guys at NasDisk will jump in too, but I'm really excited to see some more competition within this space because we really need this innovation. We deserve it as collectors and sellers and buyers, and I think we're about to get it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and there are more coming soon. Take it easy.